Will the Indian Air Force buy the Russian Su-57 stealth fighter jet? Speculations are rife ahead of President Putin's visit to New Delhi to meet Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So will Putin make a Su-57 offer to India that's just too good to refuse? Amid ongoing speculation regarding President Putin's visit to New Delhi, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed the much-awaited news in a televised address. Promising to take India-Russia bilateral ties to an all-time high, Lavrov stated how arrangements are currently underway for Putin's visit to India in the months ahead. Remember, during his visit to Moscow last year, right after his re-election, Prime Minister Modi had urged the Russian president to pay a visit to India at the earliest. Lavrov stated, quote, "Putin has accepted an invitation to visit from the Indian head of government. A visit by the Russian head of state is currently being prepared." Prime Minister Narendra Modi had made his first foreign visit to Russia after being re-elected for his third consecutive term. Now it's our turn, unquote. Both leaders maintain regular contact, holding telephonic conversations every couple of months apart from holding yearly in-person meetings, as well as international events such as the BRICS summit held in Kazan last October. The exact dates for Russian President Putin's visit to India are yet to be announced. However, one should keep in mind that this would be Putin's first diplomatic visit to India since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, which started back in 2022. Vladimir Putin had last traveled to India in December 2021 for an annual bilateral summit. So what's on the agenda for the much-awaited meeting between Modi and Putin, and will President Putin personally push India to purchase the Russian Su-57 stealth fighter jets? In February, ahead of Aero India 2025, Putin had officially offered the Russian stealth aircraft to India for the first time. The Russian offer came days ahead of another proposal by US President Donald Trump for the F-35 stealth fighters to India.
We're also paving the way to ultimately provide India with the F-35 stealth fighters.
The reports suggest if India agrees to this deal, it will receive the latest 5th-generation Su-57 fighter jets with options for co-production and manufacturing in India, as well as the freedom to develop its own indigenous versions of this jet. Rosbaron Export CEO Alexander Mikheev confirmed Moscow's decision just last month, stating, quote, "Rosbaron Export offers comprehensive development of cooperation for the Su-57E project. Our proposals include the supply of the finished aircraft, the organization of the joint production in India, and the assistance in the development of an Indian 5th-generation fighter," unquote. It can be an attractive offer. Russia is looking to upgrade the Su-57 by replacing the existing AL-41 engines with the upgraded AL-51 6th-generation turbofan engine manufactured by NPO Saturn. The upgrade will enable the Su-57 to reach a cruising speed of Mach 2, while remarkably reducing its visibility within the infrared range, a decisive advancement over its predecessor while making the jet even more stealthy. The Su-57 is an impressive jet and can fly at speeds of 2,136 km per hour, which means it can reach from Mumbai to Ladakh in little over 1 hour. The Felon also has a service ceiling of an impressive 61,000 feet or 20 kilometers and a combat range of 1,900 kilometers, which puts entire Pakistan as well as Chinese military bases in Tibet well within its range. However, its limited production numbers and limited usage during the ongoing war in Ukraine does raise a few questions. On the 8th of March, Denis Alipov, the Russian ambassador, claimed that a prospective deal could be very favorable for India. The envoy stated, quote, "We are offering not only to sell but co-produce. We offer technology sharing. We offer industry with the creation of necessary industrial facilities for production. We are open to configuration changes. So this is a very lucrative deal that we offer to India," unquote. Now, while addressing the 21st India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation held in December 2024, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh highlighted how India continued to deepen its ties with Moscow despite geopolitical challenges in recent years, stating, quote, "Friendship between our countries is higher than the highest mountain and deeper than the deepest ocean," unquote. During talks with his counterpart Andrei Belosov, Rajnath Singh pressed for expediting the supply of the two remaining units of the S-400 Triumph surface-to-air missile defense system. These two systems were originally scheduled to be delivered by 2024. However, timely deliveries have been marred by the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine and other production-related challenges. To avoid further delays, maintenance and repair work for these S-400 air defense systems are now set to take place in India itself under a joint partnership between Almaz Ante, the Russian state-owned enterprise, and an Indian firm. Sputnik News says the prospective deal of Su-57 is considered a win-win situation for India, as the jet is said to have great synergy with the S-400 air defense system, which India procured from Russia. Remember, India's armed forces still rely heavily on Russian military platforms. These include the T-72 and T-90 tanks, Sukhoi 30 MKI fighter jets, MiG-29 and MiG-29K jets, Ka-31 helicopters, the Admiral Gorshkov aircraft carrier, also known as INS Vikramaditya, and Akula and Kilo class Russian submarines. So what else is on the table? The official visit is expected to push President Putin's new economic roadmap for 2030, as India and Russia have agreed to double their bilateral trade to over $100 billion annually. Now, the target of exports and import of goods scheduled to be attained by 2030 might be achieved much before that date and the end of the current decade. The trade between the two countries shot up to $66 billion just in 2024, up fivefold in just the past 5 years, making India Russia's second largest trading partner now. Out of the $66 billion trade volume, a total trade in 2024, imports from Russia accounted for $61.4 billion, while India's exports to Russia were only $4.2 billion, now which is something New Delhi would be keen to boost further. The newfound momentum in trade is driven by increased energy, agriculture, infrastructure, and manufacturing ties. Furthermore, Putin and Modi will likely discuss increasing bilateral trade and cooperation in the Russian Far East, the Arctic, the Northern Sea Route, and increasing traffic along the Chennai-Vladivostok economic corridor. Spanning 5,600 nautical miles, the corridor offers significant cost and time savings as it reduces cargo transport time between Indian ports and Russia's Far East from 40 to 24 days. Reducing dependence on volatile Western Asian markets, the corridor provides India access to Russian Far East's abundant resources and bridges the gap between the Atlantic and Pacific regions. To further strengthen economic ties and trade opportunities, there are plans to link ports like Vizag and Paradeep on India's east coast, aimed at boosting India's footprint in the Indo-Pacific. So all eyes are now on Putin's power-packed India visit. But what do you believe? Has Russia emerged as India's strongest ally? And should the Indian Air Force buy the Sukhoi 57 stealth fighter? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.